Welcome back to my channel, Paper Therapy with Amy. I just wanted to show you the pictures I chose to scrapbook today and how I printed them on my Canon selfie. So this one here, this is using the combination on the selfie app. I choose combination and then I put this one on the bottom and these two in the top. You can switch them around, and I have another video on that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I will link that other video so that you can see how I use the Canon selfie. This is using the N up option and just having the two on one 4x6. You can see here the perforation lines. So a true 4x6 is up to here. So they will be slightly smaller, but normally I just trim them with paper and then it's good. I almost always bat all my photos. Not always, but quite often. Because I put a lot of photos on a page. So that's one way to give them some separation. So, and this one here, Armadillo in Houston, Texas. Again, use the combination layout with the square here and then the two here. So I'm going to get those cut out and matted, and then I will show you what I'm doing today. My goodness, this is take 73, I feel like. Anyways, I brought my mats in, and I'm going to bring some white cardstock in. Just, it's a little bit easier to see, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how I lay out layouts, because people ask me all the time, how do I decide? Do I let the pictures guide me? And you might hear some young men voices. They're just outside my window here. We have a little sitting area, covered sitting area, and they're pretty loud with their low changed voices. So if you hear that, that's life with teens home for the summer. So, or home for the summer and out of school for the summer. All right, so here's some different options, right? Like I could make a row here. This is the odd man out, so I'd have to find a way to tuck it in or something. And then I could make another row with these guys, perhaps like this, something like that. This would be okay. I'd probably have to figure out something to do with this one because I don't love it. Maybe just put it in the... And I do like groupings that come towards the center and then the decorations coming around the outside, but I'm going to do something a little bit different with this layout. Number one, this is from Are We There Yet? And I thought it fit perfect with my color scheme here. So I have a couple of different paper packs I could use. I could use Life's a Hoot. It goes pretty good. We'll see how much it fits and how much I like it. Another thing I have is I have these pieces from Are We There Yet? And I could definitely trace them and cut them out as well from this paper here. Any kind of papers if I want. I really like this side because it kind of goes with my husband's rainbow He-Man shirt. So I have those options, and then I believe there's a stripy paper in Are We There Yet too, so I might search that one out. And I kind of wanted to go with, like, this came from, I believe I had that ready too, but I don't, oh, here it is. Pardon me, guys. Just not the best day today for scrapbooking. I don't really want the suitcases, so I could just trace them and use different paper. And this would kind of be the idea, something like this. And I'm thinking I would want it more to this side and fill up this side with possibly patterned paper or whatever else. Maybe like something like this, right? But I also have this here. So I think I'm going to use this in the background. All right, there was another little pause to tell my kids, go outside and stay out there. You're driving me nuts. Anyways, all right, so this is from Heidi Swap. We used to have one as well. They are available all over the place. You can search Amazon, 12x12, starburst pattern or something to that effect. So if I take these off, I'm just going to take a look at what would work. And I'm not thinking I'm going to leave the border. I'm thinking I'm just going to kind of ignore the border. So I think after I get it kind of on there, then I'll decide But I kind of want these trees to be upright, so I might twist this a bit so that the trees are going to be, what would be the best? The best would be to flip it, I believe. You're learning with me. There we go. See how that one fits in there now? So that means that it will fit here somewhere, even if I do it farther down or whatever, because the angles are kind of correct. That was my problem. So that one would really go good there. A little bit out, but I think I could make it work. And then this guy could maybe go down here. We'll see. If I could pull it out a little bit more, I could probably pull it down and cover it with pictures. And otherwise I won't use this one, and I'll just cut. I'll cut my own. I'll trace these and cut my own. So this is what gave me the idea. These are the starburst from this. I'm not going to make this layout. I know that already. So I'm going to keep the camera going, but I'll end up speeding it up so you can kind of see how I go about doing this. And I'm going to be doing it with blending brushes and inks. And I haven't decided on the color yet, so you will be surprised together with me at the color. I adhere my stencil down with a little bit of Post-it removable tape, and I didn't press it hard enough. You'll see it later on. I think it's on video when my stencil moved on me a little bit, but it ended up being okay. I chose Glacier ink, and I use the blending brushes. They're just such nice tools for adding ink. It is such a subtle amount, and the pressure you use makes the difference in how much darker it gets. Ooh, that's where it kind of shifted a little bit. Anyways, so I was trying to get it darker towards the center, and then as I radiate it out, go a little bit lighter. So that was sort of my goal. And then I chose to use another stencil on top. It's a technique I think I've seen both Jema and Erin do. And you put another stencil over top, and you can add some patterning to the spaces that only the spaces that you want the patterning. So you'll see as I lift the whole stencil up afterwards that I've got this little kind of slanted line pattern, and in this is an older pink color. It's called Bashful, but I would say it's very close to Ballerina. And then the Glacier radiating underneath. So there I wanted it to be a little darker with the Glacier there up in that corner. I didn't think there was quite enough, so I just put that stencil back down and added a little bit more. And there you go. Now the rays are kind of a little more pronounced in that corner. And then I just added a little bit more Glacier over the whole thing. I really do that quite often. It just kind of blends it all in and makes it feel like it's a patterned paper almost. Now, the reason that I added the starburst pattern in the background was because I wanted to use some of these papers as a starburst, but I didn't have enough really to do the perfect pattern. So I wanted to just add these papers in, sort of as a decoration here and there. And there you just saw me trimming down. I took a 1/2 inch off of the top and a 1/4 inch off of the side, so that I would have a 1/4 inch all the way around with a blue. I'm putting the sapphire blue in the background as a trim on the whole page, or a matting under the whole page. So it's kind of one of those frame style layouts, and then at the same time having the starburst pattern kind of underneath. After trying things out here, there, and everywhere, I do end up moving that title over and switching it with the picture of my husband and I. And the reason I did that is because I thought, you know what, I think that the starburst should radiate from underneath our picture. I like that picture. I think it kind of should be the focal point, and then the title can kind of come next. So I had already kind of decided that I was also going to have some patterned paper in the center of this layout. I didn't want to have the starburst all the way through because I wanted to continue it on the other side of the other page, because this is going to be a 2-page spread. So I tried adding that striped paper. I really wanted to include it because I really think it goes well, as I said before, with my husband's shirt, and just brings out all the colors that are in the little title there. So I cut myself one of those rays. I did that by tracing another one I decided not to use, and I end up using the back of the other one, but you'll see that come in a few minutes here. So I added this paper, this kind of cobblestone. It looks like cobblestones to me. And that's where I switched up the title to the other side. And I really like how that really brings out our picture. I think because it's framed in the sapphire and the sapphire background paper. Maybe it was kind of fading away, but I really find where it is sitting now, it's being brought out. So this is where I decided to use the back of, so this paper, this ray, sun ray, whatever it is, has suitcases on the other side, and I wasn't going to use that on this layout. So I decided to just use another stencil on the back. So I'm using that Bashful again, and I'm adding just a grid pattern. Any kind of pattern will do. And I am going to add it up in that corner. So I have another different patterned paper to add into my sun ray design. I also wanted to add something else to bring the photos out a little bit more. So this is one of the cardstock sheets from the Dream Maker collection, and I do not use yellow that often in layouts. I actually kind of struggle with using yellow, but I decided I wanted to use it this time. And I started with thinking I was just going to double matte these photos. So that one photo, and then matte the title. But I ended up flipping it the other way, and there you go. And I added a little bit of these geotags. So this is also from the Are We There Yet collection. So this is a real marriage of Are We There Yet and the owl paper. I can't remember what it's called in this moment. And then I added in just that cardstock. Yellow cardstock would have been fine too, but this was close at hand, so I grabbed it and I'm like, oh, I kind of like that kind of watercolor pattern in the background. It adds to it. And I just really like how this added to this layout, and I really like the addition of moving the butterfly to the top left corner as well. I think that the purple berries were kind of fading away up there, and so the butterfly is brighter and kind of draws you in a little bit more. I wanted to add a little bit more of the grape color that I'm using to trim the photo of the berries. I wanted to kind of bring that color out a little more. And it's on my husband's shirt as well. So I cut out this scallop on the Sizzix and added it as one more vertical line. And I really like the addition. And a fun fact is that that purple color is actually not in Are We There Yet? But it's working, so you don't always need every color in every paper after all. This page is pretty well done, except for maybe a few last minute embellishments. So I'm going to bring in the second half of this layout and work on the other side. So I chose the other pictures to go on the left-hand side by choosing my kind of 3 favorite photos. And this side is going to be, maybe that's not totally true, but I wanted the title. I do love the armadillo photos too, but I wanted the title and I wanted the picture of us and then some smaller photos on the left-hand side. And then on the right-hand side, I was adding in this armadillo and the picture of my husband with his different beers at the brewery. And I have a sticker from the brewery I'm adding in, which it's a real shame. The sticker would be perfect with fresh paint, an older paper pack, but alas, I never did get fresh paint, and maybe it's coming in my bonus kit that's going to be coming in the next few weeks here, but I'll have used these pictures up already, so I'll have to use it for something different then. Anyways, I was really struggling to get this picture of this deep fried cheese, which, if you go to Texas and eat all their delicious foods, you have to record some pictures of them. So I was struggling to get it on the page, and I thought, it doesn't need to be this size. We just need a little memory of it. So I cut it down to the same size as those other tiny photos, and I was much happier with it. It was much easier to add in. And the other thing I was struggling with on this layout, on this side of the layout, was having the armadillo and the food and my husband it wasn't the same day, but we went to a park and then we went
to a brewery, and then after that we went to another place to have supper. So this is like just one day that I kind of kept together. And apparently armadillos are like kind of gross creatures that carry leprosy and stuff. So having it by the food was kind of bothering me. But I ended up adding a separation in it. And that really helped me to make a journaling space in between, and I could kind of tell the story of the day, and you could kind of hop from thing to thing, like, oh, we went to this park, we went for a walk, we saw an armadillo, then we went to a brewery, then we had supper, then we went back to my husband's friend's house. So that's kind of like, I really like how it tells the story by the time I get done, but it took a little while to get there. Now, this is actually a layout that's way, way outside of my comfort zone. First of all, it uses a lot of bright colors, and I'm not a super big user of bright colors in general. It has groupings of photos that are separated, which I usually group all my photos together. Generally, that's just the way I do things. And if one is separate, it's kind of like the most like my title photo more. And so there's a lot of things I tried out on here that I haven't done before, and I really like how the layout turned out. I'm happy with it. So go outside your comfort zone and you might be surprised at what you can actually do. I included this video just to give you another look at how I repeated the starburst pattern on the other side of the layout. Quite a bit less of it is going to show, but I wanted to repeat it anyways. And I used some pieces of paper that I kind of had left. The way I managed to have enough of the pieces of paper that I used on the starburst triangles on the left-hand side of the page is I took every piece of paper that matched what I was using on the left-hand side out of the Are We There Yet kit, the Are We There Yet scrapbooking workshop kit. And I made those flags work. I was dictated on where I could put the evergreen trees on the glacier piece of paper. It had to go on the top because those trees are oriented that way, or they would have been upside down, and I didn't like that. So, and then I had a little flag of the peach paper on the bottom, and then of course I could create the two to the far right that I'm using. I could create those, the stripe and the grid pattern. So I wanted to repeat those on the right hand side of the page because I like repeating everything to make everything cohesive, but I knew I didn't have as much paper. So for that reason, I made sure that the starburst that was going to show was a lot less. So there's a bigger amount showing on the left hand side, and then on the right hand side, it just kind of finishes it off, but there's less showing. And the cobblestone, the paper that I call cobblestone paper, which is that sapphire paper in the center of the layout. Well, it will be in the center at the end, but it's right now you're seeing it on the left-hand side. That one is, I cut 5.5 inches out of a 12 by 12, and then I used the leftovers. So the 5.5 went on the left-hand layout, and the leftovers, which would be 7.5, I believe, went on the right-hand side. Now you see also the sticker, the Urban South Brewery sticker that I decided to put on this layout. So I thought it matches good enough. I'm just going to stick it on there. And I did that. And I had one little, as I said, I had taken off all the bits and pieces that had matching paper. So I took everything with these little glacier pine trees. I took it out of the workshop and had it in a little container for this layout. And so I'm going to use that little round tag there in the corner because it's a third point of that teal paper, or like that glacier colored paper, pardon me. Now, as I said before, I created a nice place to put my journaling and some separation between the food and the armadillo pictures. And I could kind of write about the day there. I always pencil in my journaling first. Always, because I want to know it's going to fit well, and it's a good thing I did because I ended up erasing a few lines and squishing it closer together so that I could get everything I wanted to say in there. Oh, and right here I noticed that I had a piece of the starburst kind of missing, so I pulled it out a little ways and trimmed it up and made it fit better. But I am right on the finishing touches of this layout. Right away, I'm going to skip ahead to when I've got the journaling written in some dark blue pen, and you'll see the finished layout. So I think this is a good time to ask you to, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button for me. That really helps me out on YouTube. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet. Then you'll be notified when I put out new videos, which I try to do once a week. Sometimes I get an extra one in, but it's pretty tough with the editing and life gets in the way. So usually one a week is kind of where I'm at. And next week I'm heading off to see my mother in Manitoba. So I may or may not get a video out. If I get some video taken on Monday, then maybe I can edit it and have it out while I'm gone. But it's possible that I'll just have to skip next week. What is really exciting is when I arrive home, my box should have arrived with all my new products, and then I can show you some of the new products that have come out. It took me a little while to order because I wasn't sure for sure what I was going to get, and I knew I wanted the new Cape Cod paper. So I do have that one coming, and I have lots of ocean pictures to do with it. So I'm looking forward to showing you that paper. And I have some other ideas for the future as well. So I hope you enjoyed watching this layout come together. Hop on over to my shopping webpage. It will be listed all the products that are still available, which many of them aren't. But any that are still available will be listed down below, and you can just click the link and then you'll be over at my web page that you can shop from and check out all the wonderful things there. Some of these things aren't available, but there's other things that are available. So I will link what is there. Thanks so much again, and have a wonderful day. Catch you next time. Bye.